Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820. Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are excited to be back this week. I hope you all had a wonderful week. And as a reminder, we are excited and proud to be a part of NTX Radio, which is a radio and podcast collective proudly serving all of North Texas, and can be heard globally on the TuneIn radio app as well as the NTX radio app. And you can listen on Android, Apple CarPlay, or just ask Alexa to play NTX Radio. Check out our valued lineup and more at ntxradio.com. We thank our amazing partners in helping us amplify the voices of North Texas. Well, before we get started, we have an exciting day yet again planned for all of our listeners. Let's go ahead and bow our head for a quick word of prayer. All right. Father God, we just want to thank you for this amazing day, the breath and gift of life, and the ability and the privilege to be on this show and reach out to many, many job seekers and job transitioners. Lord, we just pray they wouldn't miss any of the fruit they are supposed to be building during this time of transition. And I just pray you would open the most amazing doors, guide our leadership in this state, and in this country and state, and be with us as we travel into the weekend. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, Foster, super excited to be here. I know we've got a great show planned, and we have an amazing guest for both the first and the second half. But Foster,
it's a good one today.
So I'm going to turn it over to you to start any dad jokes or updates.
I think I got a good dad joke this morning. So there's my main man, 50 grand. Eugene Clay is with us. What's going on, Gene? And Yolanda, good morning, Yolanda. Oh my goodness. And all the people that are listening to us, good morning. And we're going to learn something about how to get a job this morning. And we're going to start off, guys. Okay, are y'all ready for my dad joke? All right. And if Jim Williams is with us, Jim, you'll have to score me this morning on my joke. All right. So why do elephants have trunks?
No.
To travel? I don't know.
All right. Because they look funny with a glove compartment.
Oh, that would be problematic. That's a cute one. I like it. I like that one.
That one's pretty good. Yolanda, what do you think about my jokes this morning? All right, guys, I got my Evolve shirt on. Anna Morgan is the job search BFF. Gave me this T-shirt. She, you see, the Evolve is a program that she puts on a couple of times a year in the Atlanta area for recruiters and job seekers as well. It's really a neat event. And I would suggest you guys connect with her on LinkedIn, Anna Morgan. It's kind of easy to spell there. And guys, me and Pete are going to talk to you guys about, I'm going to try to chime in and tell you guys why it's important that you guys have a target company. Pete's going to tell you the whole gist behind why you should have multiple target companies. And that's Pete Hernandez right there. And that's my big brother. And I kind of run behind Pete. Whatever he does, I'm trying to copy his.
You got to copy the cool people.
But I know the cool folks, and we got real cool people in this network. And Pete is our leader at Frisco Connect, as well as leadership. He and I both are in leadership at South Lake Focus Group. So many of you guys know Pete, and many of you probably everybody's been listening to his show probably know Pete and have gotten help and support from Pete. So, Pete, let's talk about finding this target company.
Sounds good. Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here. Hopefully, we can help you out a little bit and getting you started with your job search and finding the right company, the right fit for you. So we all have an idea of the type of company we want to work at, and whether it's from past experiences, knowing I never want to do that again, or you want to transition to a new career, whether it's a new industry or a new job title, whatever it is. But one of the things I always remind people is no matter which networking group you go to, we usually start with the same thing. Your 10-second, what used to be called elevator pitch, 10 seconds, whatever you want to call it. And we always start with that. But one thing I always remind people and want to encourage people to do is at the end of that, tell me at least 2 or 3 of your target companies. So why would I do that? Because I may have no idea in the world when you give me a job title, what it is you do. So that doesn't tell me much. If you're telling me about an industry I've never been in, if you're somebody deep in manufacturing or something, most of those job titles I may not be familiar with. However, if you end that with saying, oh yeah, I'm looking for a contact at Holman or something like that does manufacturing, it's like, oh, okay, now I can help you because I've heard of that company and we may have a contact there. Because usually between me and
right.
Foster and a bunch of other people at South Lake or Frisco, we usually do have a connection somewhere we can try to help you with. So that's why it's so important.
Oh yeah.
So now that I've told you why it's important, let's find out how we determine what companies that we should be targeting. Because again, we all have an idea, whether that idea is for, religious beliefs or because of the work ethic they follow or whatever the case may be, we want to be able to find the right target company for us. So how do we start? Well, historically, you guys may have already seen me and my buddy Mike Ray do presentations on a product called Reference Solutions. And it's available only through your local library. It's a very, very expensive database of all the North American companies that are out there. So all those North American companies that are listed there, Reference Solutions tries to keep up with all of them, calling them once a year and make sure they're still in business and they still have the same leadership and all that. But the primary reason you guys want to be a part of Reference Solutions is, first of all, let me take a step back and say, join your local library. That is super important, not only because of Reference Solutions, but because of all the resources your library has available to you for free. You don't have to pay anything when you're part of your local library. And for those of you that are in the Texas area, if your local library doesn't have Reference Solutions, which, by the way, some may call it Data Axle, which is a corporate parent, or the old name Reference USA, it could be available to any one of those three. But once you join your local library, you have access to Reference Solutions. And by the way, other things like LinkedIn Learning for free if you don't have LinkedIn Premium. So that Reference Solutions database hinges on one very important little code. And that code is an NAICS code. It's a North American Industry Classification System code. And that is super important. Every company in North America has a government-issued NAICS code. They used to be called SIC codes, and the SIC codes are still out there as well. In fact, Reference Solutions will serve both. But NAICS is a little bit more targeted. Where free code would tell you it's a retail environment, NAICS will now tell you the bakeries and the card shop from all that. So that's the first thing you want to do is become familiar with NAICS codes. So when you go into Reference Solutions, and by the way, I will drop it in the link. It's basically a presentation that Mike and I did on how to use Reference Solutions. So those of you can follow along later on in your own free time. But Reference Solutions, let's say you worked for Toyota and you loved working at Toyota and now you've been laid off. You want to stay in that industry. So you just turn to Reference Solutions and say, okay, let's look up Toyota. And one of the first things that product will give you, that database will give you, is a background on Toyota and the most important thing, the NAICS code for Toyota. So once you have that code, now you're going to go back into the database and say, okay, let's show me all the companies that are under NAICS code, whatever that code may be. And it's going to be a 6-digit code. So now once you put that code in there, every company out there associated with that same code is going to show up. And you're going to realize that, oh my God, I didn't realize there were that many companies in the US that actually did the same thing as Toyota, whether that's manufacturing vehicles or whatever else they do within the Toyota entity. Now, if you look up a company like Toyota, Southwest, even IBM, Microsoft, you guys all know those companies do a variety of things. So they're going to list you multiple NAICS codes. So you're going to have to look through those and say, okay, which one fits what I'm looking for? If I want to be strictly in the auto manufacturing end of it, then I'm going to pick that. If Toyota happens to manufacture their own seats, and that's what I want to get into, then I'm going to pick that NAICS code. But you'll get a chance to pick whatever code you want. And then once you go in there and search for it and all these other companies come up, then they have a ton of filters in there. For instance, I want to be in the Dallas area. Or, you know what? I got family in San Antonio. I want to see how many of these companies are in San Antonio because I'm willing to move down there as well. So you get to basically filter this any way you want. And you can also do it by size of company. For instance, you want to work at GM and move to Detroit? That's great, but that's a huge company. there may be smaller auto manufacturers out there, or even a smaller plant, like, they manufacture Toyotas out of Tennessee. So you may want to be willing to move to Tennessee, and you can filter out Tennessee out there. So there's a lot of things you can do with that database. So again, I will drop a link to a presentation that Mike and I have done in the past, and it'll walk you through exactly how to use it. I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version here, but that's how you find the target companies. So what I would do.
Oh yeah, they can go to careerdfw.org.
That's amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
Whoa, Pete.
And by the way, within Reference Solutions, it'll only show you the companies that fall into that code. It also has a page for all the competitors and all those things. So now you know, hey, I used to work at Toyota, but obviously there's Nissan, Hyundai, there's a ton of other companies out there, and many of them have local operations in the U.S. And they have either remote jobs out here, or they have a small operation here, whatever that may be. If you were on the dealership end of things, obviously there's going to be a ton of dealerships here in the North Texas area that you can actually select and look into. And if you were in the tire manufacturing aspect of it or whatever. So it's a world of companies that are open up to you. So the nice thing about Reference Solutions is you can download that entire list to an Excel worksheet. And if you're
meaning, it's a good time for me to put my little 2 cents in there.
Go ahead.
So, guys, we've got many hiring managers that are listening to us right now, and I think Dana and Sharon Adams is on. She's checking us out right now too. I think they'd agree with me. You guys see Sharon is with us on the show sometimes. She is with Thomas Edwards Group. You guys go check out the Thomas Edwards Group. Go to thomasedwards.com. Check them out. So here's what I'm trying to say, guys. Pete said that the commonality of the companies, you can find other companies that do the same thing that your company did. You probably didn't even know anything about. You got laid off. You've got experience in the auto industry, and you find other companies that they do the same thing. Well, you know what? A recruiter is going to give you a plus sign when you already have experience doing what their client that they're recruiting for already does that. So, if I'm going to hire Valerie Williams there, she's going to be our job seeker today, and she already has experience in the auto industry doing the same thing that we're doing here, then she's already got a leg up in the process. And that's one reason I'm excited that I didn't know you didn't know anything about Reference Solutions.
I did not. This is amazing, and it's really exciting because there's numerous effective ways to go about a job search, but there's also something to be said about finding a company that really fits your beliefs, your values, kind of the culture you want to be in. I had no idea, and I'm really excited about this tool. It's amazing, and I think it's adding additional valuable tools in the job seekers tool belt by having Pete here today. Pete, we're so excited. I mean, this is great news. So
well,
I mean,
I'm
amazing.
going to take this a step further for you then. Because I've been doing these presentations now for 2 or 3 years. And guess what? Lately, I've been playing a lot with ChatGPT.
Oh, I love ChatGPT. I live on it.
Okay.
I've discovered that I can do pretty much the same thing I do on Reference Solutions using ChatGPT.
Really?
So, and that, we spend, when Mike and I used to do these presentations, it would be over an hour and 15 minutes, almost an hour and a half. And with ChatGPT, and I've been teaching people privately about this, with ChatGPT, within 15 minutes, I got you going. So primarily the easiest way to do it is you go into ChatGPT and basically prompt it to say, give me the NAICS code. And that is the key here, give me the NAICS code for Toyota, for IBM, Southwest, whatever company that you used to work with or would like to get into. And as soon as you do that, ChatGPT, I know that for sure. I don't know about the other AI tools that are out there. ChatGPT is tied into the NAICS government list. So it'll pull the NAICS for that company. So as soon as you do that, and let's say you want to work for Microsoft, you just put in, give me the NAICS code for Microsoft.
Wow.
As soon as it gives you that code, then you go right back into the prompt and say, list all the companies in the DFW area with the code, blah, blah, blah. And now you're going to see that same listing of companies. And it's a lot quicker, a lot easier.
Wow.
And now the only thing about ChatGPT, and I'm not quite an expert at doing that, is how do I extract that to put it on a list? I'm sure you can copy and paste it to a Word document or whatever, but you'll have those same list of companies. And now you can say, okay, you know what? Instead of saying list all the companies under this code for Dallas Fort Worth, list them for San Antonio or list them for the US. Because a lot of those companies, as you know, have operations in multiple cities. And even though they're based out of New York or based out of Seattle, whatever the case may be, they have an operation here locally, as does Microsoft and obviously Toyota and others. So I would always say start with the US. And then if you want to narrow it down to a particular city, you can just put in the prompt again and change the US to, North Dallas or whatever you want to do. That'll give you that list of companies now. And then staying within ChatGPT, now you can start doing research on those companies. Because the one thing I will tell you about reference solutions, please only use it to find your target companies if you want to use that product. The data that they have on these companies, I can tell you from experience, is typically outdated. So I always tell people, use reference solutions, trust but verify. Whatever company list they give you, that's exactly what you want. Then use LinkedIn, Google, your local library, all those other resources to actually research that company to see if they're still in that business. The other thing about reference solutions, it has a little section there for when you look up a company to tell you how many jobs are available. Well, it's only pulling from ZipRecruiter. So I would again recommend you do not use reference solutions for anything other than finding your target companies if you choose to go that route. And then if you want to find out what open positions there are, again, usual suspects, Indeed, LinkedIn, Career
Usual
Builder.
suspects. I love that.
But it's amazing. And again, I've been messing around with ChatGPT doing it that way, and it's just quicker. And not to mention the fact that as a job seeker, if you guys are not familiar with ChatGPT or some other AI tool out there, Gemini, whatever it is that's out there, please become familiar with it. I mean, you guys have all heard the saying by now because we've been repeating it over and over again. AI may not replace you, but people who know AI will. So you've got to become familiar with it. And what better way to become familiar with it than start messing around with it, try to find your target companies. That we can start doing some research on them. And I guarantee you it's a very simple tool to use. And in fact, Foster and Dana have been talking to both Matt Keelan and Janice Sellers on our Jumpstart team to start incorporating into their AI presentations more of the how to find your target companies aspect of it. And I'm going to start eliminating the reference solutions presentations because it's so much easier to use the AI component and the fact that, again, we should all be using it anyway and become familiar with it and become better practiced at it. So,
Pete, if I might.
That's right. I want to tell you.
Yeah, Pete, if I might
Dana.
jump in, we spoke about this not last week, but I think the week before, and probably a couple weeks in a row. For those of you that don't really know where to get started with the AI, there is a very simplified platform that really is targeted for people over 40. It's called Coursive, COURSIV. I don't work with them. I'm not representing them, but I did. I think it's like $19.99 for the first 30 days. And then if you don't cancel, they'll charge you. But please think about you. So what they do is they have like their top 15 or 20 platforms, and they basically take you through the basics and the fundamentals of each to show you these different most common AI platforms and how you can get these platforms to work for you. in whatever you're needing to do in your life. And it's a very simple way to go in and learn. They start with Chat GPT and then they move on, to some different platforms depending on your sphere, what type of world you're in. But everybody has a different background, right? So what I need in Chat GPT might be different than somebody that is a graphic designer, right? But please know they take you through, like, I don't know, I think it's like 20 of the basic top platforms. They just give you the fundamentals and give you a little practice so that you know what they are and you know how to incorporate them and why you would use them and how you would use them from a fundamental standpoint. So I really recommend it. That's Coursive, Coursiv. They have promotions running all the time. There's an app. It's free. Just download it on your phone. So, and then I think it's like $19.99 for the first month. And then if you complete it all in 30 days, which you can absolutely do, you just cancel it and you're done. So I recommend it.
I would actually encourage, and I don't know this for a fact, I'm just throwing it out there. I would encourage you guys to check with your local library. They may include Coursive there as a free service.
That's actually a good point. So I didn't even think about Pete's full of ideas, man.
Well, I've been told I'm full of it many times.
That's why he's a leader.
Pete's awesome.
Yeah, I want to tell job seekers, guys, as we're compiling all this information, learning how to present ourselves and what it is that we do, we use this. You got target companies, share those target companies when you're in networking groups like Frisco Connect and South Lake Focus Group. I guarantee you will find someone that has a relationship. That's me and Dana's word. I better get close to the screen.
It's the truth. Relationships,
Dana,
everything.
Relationship and connection, relationship at the very target companies that you're looking for. Now, understand, guys, it's better when you have a job at that company that you've applied for, because a lot of us don't have the type of relationships that we can say, hey, Dana, I know you're busy, but would you take time with my buddy Valerie over there and just talk to her about your company? Come on now, y'all. Look at all of the technology we're talking about now. We don't have enough time in the day to finish our job. So if you have a job at those companies, you found a job at those target companies, let's talk about that and let's network towards that and find out if anybody's got connections, better relationships at those companies.
Yep. Very important. I appreciate you pointing that out. And we just want to thank again all of our listeners. We've had more people join. And guess what? I heard last week that Christian and Delane watched our show. They might even be on today. So, hey, y'all.
Hey,
but
Delane.
you know what I forgot to do, Foster? I forgot to mention how grateful we are for Mez and how she keeps us in line. At the beginning of the show. Yeah, we're very blessed to have the team we have. And thank you to Tiffany for allowing us to be part of NTX Radio. It is such an amazing opportunity if anybody is looking for an opportunity to get on the air. I mean, it's a great way to have both the podcast radio show combo, right?
Yeah. You guys will be surprised how you can afford to have your own show. And we started off, we were just Johnson County.
I know, we were
Joco. Fort Worth, Dallas called and said, hey, we want to be part of this thing. And so we're official now, I guess. I saw the commercial where Ice-T goes,
we're
he's
official.
Well, I guess we're
official. I love it. I mean, we're blessed to be a part of this. And y'all don't forget to go to searchforyou.org. Again, Foster is working day in and day out, volunteering to grow, build, and network and help people in this community. And it does all of the different job groups and the career fairs and all of those things. I mean, it takes time and money. So don't forget to donate to help support what's being done.
Yeah, you guys give this network.
Yeah, feed Foster.
Yeah.
I know.
So, guys, I want to give we're revamping the website. Actually, Pete's helping me with it, and we're revamping the website. And I've been a little bit slower with information on the website here lately. But you guys go to search SEARCH, the number 4, the letter U, INC.com. There it is on the screen.
Awesome.
and you can make a donation to help us keep going, help us keep helping you.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
on now.
honestly, Foster,
And
you do a
so,
lot of work to connect people every single
yeah, we
day.
need it.
It's more than a full-time
And we
job.
all do. Me, especially me and Pete. My God, we are, as my uncle would say from the country. He says we're eating up with all of this
It's a
network.
blessing, though, and I just want to thank you both.
We love it. Pete and I are retired. This is Pete and I.
I
We're
know, but I want to
retired.
thank
Both
both
of you.
you and Pete for the work you do, because
Yeah,
both of
supposed
you
to be.
could technically go back and earn a very high salary, but you're choosing because you've had companies
Yeah.
try to recruit you. But I know you've mentioned to me, Foster, you feel
Oh
God
yeah.
has asked you to stay in this position. So we're really grateful for you.
Hmm. Yeah, it's God's fault. Yeah, I'm just
God's
whatever He
good.
tells me, I go okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, He is. Guys, I want to thank Pete for being with us, because this information this morning is paramount. There's Jim Williams. He's with us. I want to thank Gerard Roble. He shares a lot of information for us
Yeah.
to see what's going on.
It's
So thank you, Gerard.
halftime.
My Steelers buddy, Jen Clay's with us today. Okay, we'll go to commercial, guys. We'll see you guys in a bit. We'll come back with Valerie, Braxton-Williams.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
All right. Welcome back to the second half of the show, Jobfather Nation. We are excited, had such an amazing, productive first half with Pete. And now we are going to jump into our guest of the second half. But what I do want to do is just remind you, which we just talked about briefly as we were recapping the first half, that we are excited and honored to be part of NTX Radio, a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving all of North Texas, and can be heard all over the world, literally globally, on the TuneIn Radio or network or the NTX Radio app. And of course, that works with Android, Apple CarPlay, Alexa. and many other platforms. Check out our lineup and more at ntxradio.com. We truly thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of North Texas. And again, thank you to Mez for keeping us in track and Tiffany for allowing us to be part of your podcast collective. So all of that being said, I know we have an introduction for the second half, and I'm sure before we get there, we have a dad joke maybe? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna laugh. We're gonna figure this stuff out. So last Friday, guys, I wasn't on the show. No, there wasn't a show last Friday, because I was getting surgery. I had oral surgery, so they extracted a couple of my teeth. Now I've only got 29.
Foster's
now, so,
gumming it up. Just kidding.
I already had one taken out, so I got my numbers right. I already had one taken out from years ago. So 32 minus 3, I'm minus 3 now. You guys can't tell though, but it's in there. So what I did was I asked the surgeon. It was Dr. Nelson. Thumbs up for Dr. Nelson. I want to give you all a holler out to you, Dr. Nelson. Thank you. I asked him if I could administer my own anesthesia.
I'm already laughing.
He said, "Go ahead."
I like that one. Oh, Foster, what are we going to do with you?
And he was a perfect doctor for me because he had
a good sense of humor,
a wonderful personality, and a good sense
that
of
does
humor.
Make a sense. That does make a difference. Aw.
Mez says no.
Yeah, I love Mez. I'm surprised she didn't come on. Well, come on and smack your hand. No, Foster. I liked that joke. I am going to say that one was good. I liked it better than the first. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Gene, you're going to have to. You're going to tell me tomorrow. We always go to lunch on Saturdays, a bunch of us. And me and Gene are the only Pittsburgh Steelers fans there.
Since when are you a Steelers fan?
Quarterback and all of that kind of stuff.
Come on.
Because I hang out with me and Joe.
Foster, you cannot be a Steeler fan and a Raider fan.
No, and you can't admit it on air in Texas.
Both one's black and gold and one's black and silver. Yeah, when you hang out with me and Joe Green's sons, you got to be a Steeler fan. Believe me. What's up, DeLon? What's up, Major? I hope you guys are watching. Major and DeLon DeLon's got a job. Major was just in job search himself. Anyway, squirrel. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet Valerie Braxton-Williams. Now, I've known Valerie for a while. I've got to make fun of her last name and all that sort of thing. But Valerie is a product and program management executive, and she is the spark. When you guys go to her LinkedIn profile, you'll see she got that big old smile, and it says, the spark you need. You guys, company, she is available to be hired right now. I suggest you go to her LinkedIn profile. The spark stands for strategic problem solver, people focused, authentic leader for the A. The R is resourceful engineer, and K is knowledgeable innovator. And I've known her long enough.
I love it.
And I can tell you all those things are true. So that is Valerie Braxton-Williams. It's easy to find her because I can imagine how many Valerie Williams there are on LinkedIn. But she's Valerie Braxton-Williams. So, Valerie, tell us a little bit about you and the job search, and what companies can think of. They might want to have a conversation with you about your background and your experience.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Foster. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Dana. And thanks, the team. This is just such a great honor and privilege for me. And I thank you for asking me to participate on the show. So I am.
Yeah, we're glad.
I'm so happy and thankful and grateful. So thank you. I'm Valerie Braxton-Williams. I describe myself as a business strategy engineer. I am currently a job seeker, so I'm looking for opportunities in the product management, program management space. My background spans a variety of sectors and industries. I'm a chemical engineer, so I started off in industrial chemicals, and then I morphed into consumer products. I worked with Kimberly-Clark making Huggies diapers and pull-ups training pants, and also like the Depend.
I need those. Just kidding.
Dana,
shut it, gummy. Sorry, Valerie.
Those brands they were fun to design and take to market and support. And I usually call it my cradle to grave experience. I did everything from Scrappies all the way up through Depend.
Yeah, that's cool.
And certainly I was like supporting the Depend brand made me a better person. So the sensitivities that you develop and such.
Yeah.
So I did industrial chemicals, consumer products. That segued me into a couple of opportunities in information technology. I've supported information technology in the travel industry. I worked at Sabre in Southlake. And then following that, McKesson in Irving. All of those have been just tremendous opportunities.
Man, you do.
No, very impressive. A good industry balance. Yeah.
And a lot of times I say what I get to do for a living, so like really my passion has always been about helping others and serving others and making a positive difference. Like, I like how you all said earlier, we amplify the voice. And my work in my past is like sometimes what we get to do, we are representing those who cannot possibly speak for themselves, right? So
exactly.
Right.
Those consumer products that I made, people that need them. And their loved ones need them to have them also.
Yeah.
So then my role in that space was to protect the cliff, right? So we want to make sure that the things that we do don't cause harm or compromise the quality of life for our users that may need the products.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Valerie, I know you're an MBA. I know what that is, and you're a PMP.
That's awesome.
I know what that is. So you also have a PSPO. I have no idea what a PSPO is. And the LSSGB. I'm like,
that's
oh
a
my
lot of
God.
certifications
You've
and
got all
letters.
the
That's
stuff.
awesome.
What is a PSPO and an
ABC.
LSSGB, Valerie?
WXYZ.
ABC.
Absolutely. So, and thanks, Foster, for that. I have the MBA. That was like when I was at Kimberly-Clark, and I was an engineer, but I did like all phases of product development and design. Then I started having some roles that helped me to support our brands in the marketplace. And so when that role ended, I kind of wanted to stay where I was. And that's why I went back to school and I got an MBA. I went to SMU and I got the MBA. What I found was we have like technical expertise. We may know like the thing that we were trained to do. And that was my undergraduate, but there's also another perspective of how do we pull things together.
Yeah.
So the MBA, a Master's of Business Administration, I kind of will rush through like some of those other letters and the alphabet soup of who I get to be and try to represent. And then I'll say more about how it evolved into what I try to do today. So the MBA, Master's of Business Administration, PMP, Professional Project Manager. And I love that professional word. And a lot that we do is around project management and how we get things done.
Yeah.
PSPO, everybody's heard of like Agile and Scrum. So that's, I am a professional product owner. So that's what that stands for.
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit later about owning products and what that means and all that stuff. So that's what PSPO
Professional
is.
Scrum product owner. So as we talk about Agile and making sure that we do things rapidly and fast, getting into that space. And then the next thing, recently I was able to receive my Lean Six Sigma green belt. That's LSSGB. And I continue to work in the area to get certified in overall supply chain management. And, a lot of times people will see like the credentials are like endorsements that say basically, a process and an approach.
Gotcha.
And so,
yeah.
And that's how like I was getting into the evolution of what I get to do. The credentials just sort of validate that, but it was more like starting off in design and engineering, but then having a real commitment to like these products and like protecting the people that need them. We don't want to like cost cut a product to the point that it does not perform
Yeah.
as needed. And so then, I got not only the work of the technical parts of that, but also the heart of why do we do it. And that's why I see things like
Yeah.
supporting those brands made me a better person. Just accepting that the people who need my products need them, right?
Especially those Depends
And
brands.
what
Right?
about youth pants, right? Like if you need your pants,
Well, definitely they made their first
Hey,
brand.
listen, I
it's
need the
training
youth
pants.
pants, not the old people pants. So ease up, Gummy.
I want to give a shout out to Lisa Burgess. Well, Lisa's been on the show before. We had a bunch of people from Transition Masters on here before, and you guys saw Lisa. But Lisa is in job search herself, and she's an HR business partner, and I want to have her come back on the show when she can, and we'll have her come on here. We'll talk about what she does for a living, and y'all need to hire Lisa. BERG.
No,
Sorry,
no, and
Valerie.
that is just
That's
so
my
much
buddy.
like, thank
Lisa's
you,
like my sister.
Lisa.
We like the same music and everything.
If I can add,
Yeah, we appreciate Lisa.
If I can add something, Valerie is now also part of our South Lake Focus Group Jumpstart Orientation Team. So she's one of our presenters now. So for those of you who want to meet Valerie and get to know her better, come out to South Lake Focus. She's one of our volunteers there, and she's now part of our Jumpstart Orientation Team. And yesterday was her first day. She did an amazing job presenting to our audience.
That's awesome.
And I want to shout out to the majority of our listeners are not in Texas, and you guys probably don't want to spend the money for a ticket to come to South Lake Focus Group. So I'm going to suggest that you guys go to southlakefocusgroup.com and check us out. We're Zoom as well. All the information that you need to know about South Lake Focus Group is on that website. It is a wonderful website put together by a person that was in job search herself. So, guys, go check out southlakefocusgroup.com. Mez, would you put southlakefocusgroup.com in the chat if you don't mind?
Thanks, Mez.
Okay, now, Valerie, this product ownership, let's kind of talk about that. You've done it. I've been part of it. I've hired a lot of you, but you do it you're the professional at. I wouldn't say I'm professional at that. Tell us what product ownership and all that stuff is and how it ties into all of this PMPs and LSGs and all these other things.
Absolutely. I think, what's so fun about that is that word ownership. Like we talk a lot about the importance of accountability, right? So when we talk about being a product owner, and what's great about it is it can be any product, but what's also great is like I've gotten to support and represent and serve some really great products and brands. If we were to talk about, let's say, a technology solution in the healthcare space, I was a product owner at both Sabre and at McKesson. We have technology solutions. We are trying to make choices and decisions easier and better for any entity that needs that product or that service. We don't want it to be confusing. We don't want it to be glitchy and clunky. And then, we have technology teams like our software architects and our engineers and developers, and they're constantly working on what can we do to make it better, make it faster, make it more seamless and more integrated. At places like both McKesson and Sabre, what we understand is when people are relying on us and they're using our product, they don't really want to know how it works. They just want it to work, right?
Very true.
Don't tell me all of that. I just want it to work. I want it to work now. We have to often translate that into when they say, I want it to work now, what does that really mean? And so a product owner stands in the middle. So we stand in the gap. We are the bridge between what the external group wants and what the technology teams want to know. So because I have a technical background, I can speak techno geek.
I love it.
And that can be
you
compelling.
can. I've heard it.
But when we're talking to users, that ain't what they want to talk about, and it's really not how they want to say it. So
Yeah.
I flip, and then I become more human, and we talk about that too. And when we talk about things like pain points, right? Sometimes people are like, say you're frustrated, and it came out because you needed it to work a different way right now. Then I feel like, I translate those listening skills to see what is the message behind the bark. And I do think that's really important. Like, I don't mind how people say things. I'm trying to discern and detect what they mean by it.
You put yourself in their
And we
shoes.
translate.
Yeah.
We translate so we can cooperate. So, we educate, different things like that. That is what being a product owner is about. It is about representing the product. Yes, we want to do that, but representing the users of the product. And we want that to be a win-win situation.
Gotcha.
If we have a single point of contact for anything that we purchase or a service or a product, it's better that way. We can go and that person is responsible. It sounds like from what you say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that you go and you talk to the people that make the thing work and tell them, hey, we got to get this done. We got to get it now. This is what the company is looking for, and you're that point of contact for that.
I think you're 100% accurate, but the other part of that is, but I also talk to those that are asking for things, and I say, hey, you got to be patient. You got to work with us. You got to let me do first things first. And it's just that mutual understanding that we sometimes when people have an urgent, and it's no denying that if the need is urgent, it is. Sometimes what people are needing to happen, it can be life determining, and it really honestly can be. But if we have to take steps to get things done, we have to get them to trust us. And that is like one of the things that we talk about doing. We're like, we will do it, but we have to do it our way. And then I think that when you are a trusted partner and you can assure them that it will be done, then we work to get it done properly. The companies that I've always worked for, they're very high ethics, high morals, and all of them, they say things like, we do the right thing because it's the right thing. And we want to be true to that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the people side of things, and I'm good at the people side of things. So if I took a problem to Valerie and she got it done in a context in which I wanted it, and I'm happy with what has been done, I'm going to be more confident in my ability to go to Valerie and say, hey, let's make this change. Let's do this new thing over here. Can we do this? And if I have a point of contact that has already been successful for me in an endeavor, then that's where I'm going.
I love it. And then I'll be like, yes, it's kind to be done.
Yeah.
A lot of times Maz is our go-to person. When I have some technical behind the scenes kind of questions and stuff, I'll run it past Maz and she gets it done. It's awesome. Hey, Jim Williams. Again, I like that last name. So
we like our last name.
We do. Me, Valerie, and Jim. Hey, it's family thing. You know what I'm saying?
And I love we talked about relationships. I mean, that it's like everything resonates.
That's all it is.
We can do a lot when we have the relationship, right? Like things may not come out perfectly the way we the way that we intended. But if we have a relationship, we can work through those types of obstacles. We leverage that a lot. And like I said, if someone has a crisis and they don't mean to be a bad person, they aren't even trying to be a mean personality. What they're really trying to do is get their point across. And that's important, right? So we want to make them feel heard. Important. We want to make sure and then take action. What we typically try to do in the space that I'm in is if we talk about what might success look like, we might say something like, if I were to do this and you were to see this, would that give you confidence that we are working on your ask, right?
Uh-huh.
Either that's a yes or a no. If they need to
I,
help me out, they can calibrate me.
I
I
like
like
that.
we're talking about this because Lisa just said in the
Yeah.
chat, connection and relationship building is key to
Hmm.
collaboration. Lisa's smart; she uses them big old words and stuff. And so, but Lisa, being in HR and being who she is in her experience, being a subject matter expert in HR and being the person that goes and runs the traps is what I like to say in HR. She is a business partner, so she would be the perfect one to say connection and relationship building is key to collaboration. I like that. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Hey, Valerie, what's the best way for us to get in contact with you? Because I can imagine a number of companies would probably
I
would
can
want to talk to
imagine
you.
that I'd be very interested and
I
encouraged
know
to
you
talk
would be.
with them. My email address
Oh,
is
yeah.
Valerie,
I love it.
VALERIE dot Williams, WILLIAMS, the number one,
Yes.
at Verizon.net.
I love it.
Dot
I love it.
net. And also on LinkedIn, I'm Valerie Braxton-Williams. But I have fun. I like, getting to say
You
things
do.
like what I get to do for a living. Pete made such a great point is as I transition, Self-Lake Focus Group is my home. Like they help me to make it through my
Yes.
transition periods. And I've had more than one. So the things that we have done at South Lake Focus Group, my branding developed and, cultivated at South Lake Focus Group. How do you describe yourself? How do you introduce yourself? We can change
Right.
that, but it's a good start. I love your shirt, Foster, with evolve and the phases of the moon is like
Evolve. Yeah.
as we change phases, do we need to tweak and modify?
And I've been at South Lake Focus Group for
Yeah.
almost 20
I mean,
You
you've
years
do
been a
now.
go
big
from
part of it,
7
And
to
I've
Foster.
seen it evolve.
27, 20
Bef-
years now.
Yeah.
before before COVID,
It was
we had
huge.
guys in the early 2000s well, I'll say
Mid.
early, around 2008. You guys all remember what happened in '08. In '09, 10, 11, we had 400 people every
Every
Thursday. That's the impact
That's
that South Lake
amazing.
Focus Group has had, guys. And that's why we mention it all the time. And it takes a number of us to run that organization. Pete and I are two very visible leaders in that organization. But it's got it broken down into segments for job seekers where you guys can understand why. We'll explain it to you why it is the way it is, and you will meet the best people and you will find out how to be that person that Valerie Braxton-Williams is because she's got our job seeker seal of approval. Maz, I appreciate you putting that together
Yeah.
so much because I love that. This is the first show, I think. Dana, I think this is the first show I've seen the seal be applied
I
to our
know. It
job
is
to
amazing.
our
Yeah.
job seeker. I know. It's
Me
cool. I
too.
like technology.
Me too.
Yeah, especially this AI is going to help me and Dana with this show. Tiffany's behind the scenes. Tiffany owns the whole thing, and she is our engineer. And Tiffany's probably already using
Oh,
AI
yeah.
for a number
Yeah.
of things. And we're going to see this show, guys. It is very popular, and we are global. So the folks, Matt, you guys that are over in Germany right now, I want to give you a shout out. I forgot to mention y'all. And we've got people all over the place. Everybody that is awake right now, some for most of the time they tune in and say, "Okay, let's see what these idiots are talking about in the United States." I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But guys, I like that golden that jobs father seal of approval because I'm telling you, companies right now that Valerie gets that seal. You take the time to talk to Valerie; she is
Yeah.
available right now for her next adventure. And you guys talk to her; you'll understand why we had her on the show.
Absolutely.
Hmm
I welcome it.
And thanks, Pete. Pete's still with us. There, Pete's right down there. Pete's still with us. Guys, we have a wonderful network. We talk about we've got services that are part of this network. Like Lisa and I are part of Transition Masters. I suggest that you guys go check out transitionmasters.org. And it's a wonderful website that will explain to you everything that we do at TM. I like to call it TM because, I'm from the country. I don't want to say all that.
You're so funny, Foster.
Transition Masters, guys, at South Lake Focus Group, Frisco Connect we meet in person only. But here's the thing. Pete came up with the idea for us to take things so we can share it to everybody.
Absolutely.
So that's our show. Valerie, thank you.
Yay!
I appreciate it.
Lisa,
thank you so much. I appreciate every help.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next Friday with a whole
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank